The Musk mansion was dazzling that Christmas Eve, a glittering wonderland of wealth and grandeur. Every detail screamed opulence, from the shimmering chandeliers to the ice sculptures that lined the halls, glowing under the twinkle of hundreds of fairy lights. Inside, Silicon Valley's most powerful gathered, their laughter and conversation filling the air like the music of a grand symphony. But beyond the shimmering lights and the laughter, a moment was brewing, one that would change lives in ways no one could foresee. What began as a reckless bet would unravel into a story of heartbreak, resilience, and mystery. This is a tale you won't soon forget. The challenge. Inside the Grand Hall, Elon Musk sat at a corner table, surrounded by luxury but enveloped in boredom. He had seen it all before. The ambitious chatter, the hollow compliments, the eager faces vying for his attention. His mind, always seeking the next challenge, drifted aimlessly until Richard Sterling, a rival and notorious provocateur, broke the monotony. "You've done it all, Elon," Richard sneered, swirling his drink with theatrical flair. "But what about stepping out of your bubble?" Elon's sharp gaze turned to Richard. "My entire life is about stepping out of bubbles. Define your terms." Richard's grin widened as he leaned in, his voice low but deliberate. "Marry someone. But not just anyone. Someone. Unconventional." Elon's brow furrowed, his curiosity piqued. "Go on!" Richard's eyes scanned the room, his gaze landing on Meline, a waitress nervously balancing a tray. She was nothing like the polished, glamorous women who typically orbited Elon's world. Her plain uniform clung awkwardly to her fuller figure, her face flushed as she avoided the disdainful glances of the wealthy guests. "Her," Richard declared, his tone dripping with mockery. "Marry her by the end of the year, unless, of course, you're afraid." Elon's eyes followed Richard's gaze to Meline. She stumbled slightly, catching herself as laughter from a nearby group stung her ears. For a moment, Elon's analytical mind assessed her, registering the challenge in Richard's tone. "You're serious?" Elon asked, his voice even but sharp. "Deadly," Richard taunted. "Show us you're more than a genius with gadgets. Prove you're human." A slow smirk curled across Elon's lips. "Done. You'll get your proof." The surrounding group erupted in a mix of cheers and jeers, their disbelief palpable. Rising with deliberate calm, Elon crossed the room. Meline, still trying to steady her tray, froze as he approached. "Excuse me," he said, his voice cutting through the noise. Her wide eyes met his, her expression a mix of shock and confusion. "Do you need something, Mr. Musk?" "Yes," he replied, his tone decisive. "A moment of your time." A life-changing offer. Meline followed Elon onto the quiet patio, the crisp night air stinging her skin. Snowflakes drifted lazily under the glow of the mansion's lights, the sound of the party muffled behind them. "What is this about?" she asked, her arms folding defensively against the cold. Elon studied her, his expression unreadable. "I have a proposition for you." Her brow furrowed. "A proposition?" "Marry me," he said bluntly. "For 1 year. In exchange, I'll make it worth your while." She blinked, stunned into silence. "What? Why?" "Because," he said, his tone steady, "I need someone unpredictable. Someone who doesn't fit the mold, and you're intriguing." Meline stared at him, her mind racing. This was absurd. She was just a waitress, invisible to the powerful people in that room. And yet, here he was, Elon Musk, offering her a deal that sounded more like a fairy tale than reality. "You're serious?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Completely?" Her instinct screamed at her to walk away, but the desperation in her life, the mounting bills, the endless struggle, made her hesitate. Against her better judgment, and with little to lose, she nodded. "Okay." The deal was sealed with a handshake that felt heavier than it should. A strange union. The media frenzy erupted overnight. Headlines blared, "Elon Musk marries waitress in shocking move." Paparazzi swarmed, and the world's gaze fell on Meline. Every detail of her life was scrutinized, every perceived flaw magnified. For Meline, the sudden spotlight was overwhelming. The cameras, the invasive questions, the cruel online comments. It was a world she had never imagined, let alone prepared for. Elon, meanwhile, remained detached, treating their arrangement like a business venture. He provided her with a new wardrobe, etiquette lessons, and a public relations team. But behind the polished exterior, their relationship felt hollow. One evening, after another exhausting public event, Meline found Elon in the mansion's greenhouse. He was bent over a delicate sapling, his expression unusually soft. "Why this one?" she asked, breaking the silence. He glanced at her. "It's struggling," he said quietly, "but it has potential. It just needs the right care." His words lingered with her, revealing a side of him she hadn't seen before. Unexpected connections. As weeks turned into months, their dynamic began to shift. Meline's warmth and humor slowly chipped away at Elon's icy demeanor. He, in turn, began to open up, sharing pieces of his past that had shaped the man he was. One night, over a quiet dinner, he revealed a painful memory. "My mother. She stayed with my father, even when it hurt her. I think part of me resented her for it, but another part understood. She thought she was doing the right thing." Meline reached out, her voice soft. "That's a lot to carry." He nodded, his gaze distant. "It's easier to bury myself in work. Machines don't judge. They don't leave." And for the first time, Meline saw the cracks in his armor. Beneath the genius and the bravado was a man haunted by his past. The twist. Just as their fragile connection seemed to solidify, a mysterious letter arrived. Its cryptic contents hinted at a secret from Elon's past, a betrayal that could unravel everything. Meline discovered the letter late one night, hidden in his study. When she confronted Elon, his expression darkened. "It's from someone I hurt," he admitted. "Someone I trusted." He refused to share more, leaving Meline torn between her growing feelings for him and the shadow of doubt now hanging over their relationship. The climax. As Christmas approached, marking the end of their year together, the tension between them grew. At the annual Musk Mansion Gala, Richard Sterling cornered them, his smirk as sharp as ever. "So, Elon," he drawled, "did you win your little bet?" Meline froze, her heart sinking. "Bet?" Richard's laughter was cruel. "Didn't he tell you? This whole marriage was a game." Elon's silence was deafening. Tears filled Meline's eyes as she whispered, "Is that true?" "It started that way," Elon confessed, his voice breaking. "But it became so much more." Unable to bear the betrayal, Meline fled, leaving Elon surrounded by his peers, their judgment cutting deeper than any words. Redemption and loss. Days turned into weeks. Elon, consumed by regret, poured his energy into finding Meline. When he finally did, she was working at a modest cafe, her face pale but determined. "I made a mistake," he said, his voice raw. "But I can't lose you." Meline's eyes searched his, filled with pain but also lingering affection. "You didn't just hurt me. You made me believe I mattered, only to prove I didn't." "You do matter," he said fiercely. "More than anything." After a long silence, she nodded. "If we try again, it has to be real. No more games." What began as a cruel dare became a journey of redemption, love, and self-discovery. Elon and Meline's story reminds us that even the most unlikely connections can leave an indelible mark. But some scars take longer to heal than others, and only time will tell if love can truly conquer all. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unforgettable stories.